I'll put it this way. There are things I know I should forgive. But I find myself hanging on to them, clutching onto them like the drowning man clutches at, that tiny bit of flotsam. And I know I should just let go. It's not important. The fact that some guy yelled something at you on a street when you were in high school doesn't mean you should be harboring all these, I want to track that guy down and beat him to death with a baseball bat kind of fantasies that go through.
Have you been reading my diary? Have you been reading my diary?
I think we all have things like that in our past. The difference is how much you let it dominate you. And yeah, we want to forgive. We try to forgive. We try to forget because we know how freaking trivial, unimportant, and irrelevant it is. But for some reason, you just can't void this idiotic incident out of your mind. So, and it gnaws at you from inside. So, yeah, forgiveness, I wholeheartedly endorse the idea. But it's much harder to do that, even if it's just forgiving inside yourself, not having to go and express forgiveness to people, which is even much more of a challenge. It's a tough thing to do. And it always annoys me when you hear some holier-than-thou person telling you, oh, you should just forgive the guy. Yeah, it's easy for you to say that, but I can pretty much guarantee that you harbor a few petty angers in your own soul too.
Well, I think it absolutely causes you to age faster. It's a great source of anxiety. And the problem is, how many times have I said to myself, "Oh, I've forgiven this person, this person, this person," and genuinely believed it. And if somebody is seeking forgiveness, and I realize I've forgiven them, I make sure I let them know. And because I think that's important. But if they're not, I don't tell them. And the reason is because it can end up being virtue signaling. It can cause more trouble than it, you know what I mean? It's just like, and it's not, forgiveness really has to be about you, I think. But how many times have I said I've forgiven somebody and then I 3 or 4 days later, I would like catch myself really still pissed about it. And I was like, did I just lie to myself? I said I'd forgiven, and I'm still pissed. I was like, I think I may be lying to myself.
There's a great scene in the movie Red Dawn where they rescue a downed Air Force pilot, the kids who are being the guerrillas. And one of the kids is obviously just seething with anger and a deep need for vengeance. And the pilot looks at him and said, "Kid, you're going to have to let that anger go." And the kid responds with something along the lines of, "No, it's what keeps me warm." And I think that's true for a lot of people. I think we harbor those angers, those jealousies, those disappointments, and we rehash them again and again inside ourselves because we're still trying to cope with and deal with what the foundations of those were. We haven't resolved them in and of ourselves yet. And I think that's one of the keys, is that when you forgive somebody, you can't really do it unless you've actually come to terms with that whole incident, that whatever the proximate cause was that got you there in the first place. And so you keep rehashing it. And, as the kid says, it keeps me warm at night. And there's things that happen to me literally, and I'm not exaggerating, back in grade school that I can remember, and I still am just absolutely infuriated about it. And I want to, I'm going to track him down and punch him in the nose or whatever it is, and it's the dumbest damn thing in the world. But it's who and what I am, and I don't like it. I don't want it to be there, but flushing that toilet isn't as easy as it sounds.
Well, and I'll be honest, it's a little embarrassing and humiliating to admit that things from that, still affect you.